Hello, my name is Colin Moffat, and today I will be discussing a problem that I have identified in my community, and then I will proceed to talk about a solution that I have come up with. So, basically, I live in Zapata, in the miraculous state of Texas, and Zapata is a town located within Zapata County itself, and it's surrounded by various outlying little villages, San Ignacio, Lopeño, Padcon. Um, it is located on the Texas-Mexico border, and it's very isolated, really, because you have to go an hour in either direction to get to, anything that even resembles a Walmart, or, there's Laredo, the big metropolis to the north, 45 miles, and Roma, and there's other little communities that are somewhat nearby. Um, but in reality, the story of Zapata is a very compelling one. Zapata was founded in 1858, and it was kind of normal up until about 1953 when the Falcon Dam was finished. And essentially what the goal of Falcon Dam was to build a lake for irrigation purposes, for the surrounding community, and that happened at a rate faster than than was originally anticipated. There was a lot of unanticipated precipitation within the years following the dam's completion, and so the dam filled up 2 years ahead of schedule. As you can imagine, the people of Zapata, Zapata is adjacent to the lake itself, they were not prepared for that, and so instead of moving the town gradually like they had intended, they actually had to uproot themselves entirely and hightail it out of there because they were going to get flooded. And so that's essentially what happened, and that really is the root cause of a lot of problems that exist within the communities today. But the main problem I'll be identifying is the lack of economic capacity. And what I mean by that is economic capacity in the sense of accessing a community's natural resources and turning that into profit, and in turn turning that into success and wealth for the inhabitants of that community. Now, what causes the lack of economic capacity in Zapata is really the lack of infrastructure above anything else. There is a complete, well, I wouldn't say complete lack of infrastructure, but there is much to be desired in the Zapata infrastructure zone. We don't have adequate water and sewer lines in many areas. In some areas you can't get electricity. Communications is probably the worst of them all. We didn't have dial-up until 2000, and 2004 was the first year we got broadband, anything other than dial-up, and that was thanks to Blue Moon Communications. But other than that, it's just very weak in terms of infrastructure, and understandably so, because when you uproot a community, like I said before, and just completely move it, then you're going to have those kinds of problems. But it's been 50 years, almost 60 years since that happened, and so this needs to be resolved, I believe, in order to realize the economic potential of Zapata County. And what I propose we do is to first coordinate, create an action plan with the local businesses, the school, there's several elementary schools, a middle school and a high school here. Coordinate with them, with all the local businesses, such as the restaurants, auto parts stores, those little mom and pop businesses, of which there are many in Zapata, and kind of assess their needs, really, and say, okay, look, what is it that you need to thrive? Is it more business? Is it more, do you need better internet? Do you need better water lines? What are the barriers? Identify those problems first, and then move on to creating a real soluble way to do it, to be pragmatic through your efforts, and acquire grants, mainly because of the budget cuts. We really don't have the funding in order to create all these new agencies and all that kind of stuff, so we'd have to go through grants. Ask organizations like the Economic Development Association, organizations, the federal government, of course, private businesses and corporations, as well as nonprofit organizations, who would be willing to help Zapata County, and I believe those numbers would be many because the needs of Zapata County are many and they are genuine. So there should be something like that would be able to happen, and I think that would be a very viable solution to this problem. And overall, if we just take it slow and go step by step, we'll be able to create more better infrastructure, create more recreational opportunities, and bring success and excellence. As equated by the American standard, excellence is something we should all strive for. And I believe that is what needs to happen in this community in order to create something that is truly beautiful and is truly a work of art in terms of planning and in terms of what is deemed to be acceptable for a normal modern community. Even though it's a rural community, there are still things, we're living in the 21st century. There are things you need to have, like zoning laws and other sorts of things in terms of legislation and things like that really are very important to success of the people of Zapata. So thank you for listening to me today, and that is my video essay.